Before we begin, we're just going to have a quick acknowledgement of country. Scouts Victoria respectfully acknowledges the traditional custodians of the country throughout Victoria, where our activities take place today. We pay our respects to the elders, both past, present, and emerging, and continue to recognise and embrace the important continuous history and connection to the land and community of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people.
Hello and welcome to Ventura Victoria's first live stream of the year. I'm Charlie and this is Sophie, and we'll be your host tonight. Tonight we'll be answering your questions regarding the outdoor adventure skills with special guest Narelle Lodell, State Commissioner OAS Leader Support.
Stick around until the end for the announcement of the Victorian Ventura Council's newest initiative for units around the state. Before we start, drop any questions you have in the chat and we'll try to answer as many as possible throughout the live stream. But first and foremost, we have special guests Narelle Lodell, State Commissioner OAS and Leader Support, and Bailey from the OAS Advisory Patrol to explain the new additions to the outdoor adventure skills and explain your questions. And answer your questions, pardon me.
Hi everyone, I'm Bailey. So the outdoor adventure skills element of our program truly encompasses a huge opportunities where scouts aged 5 through to 25 are encouraged to explore a huge range of outdoor adventure skills throughout their scouting journey. All individual skills are recognized and move with them as they progress through each section of scouting. There are 9 broad activity areas with 9 stages in each area. Some activity areas then break off into a number of specialty areas. We call these activity streams. The skills are categorized into 3 areas: core, land, and water. Scouts will progress through outdoor adventure skills at their own pace and in the areas they find most interesting. Scouts are encouraged to support and teach others using what is called the 2-down approach. The 2-down approach means that if you're 2 stages or more higher in a skill area than the scout you are supporting, for example, if you complete stage 5 bushwalking, you can support others who are working on stage 1, 2, or 3 bushwalking.
Cool, thanks Bailey. So there's some really exciting parts and things for us to know about people when they're starting out their time with us in the Ventura section. So firstly, when we have someone starting with us in our units, we need to know their current skills. We need to have a look at whereabouts are their outdoor adventure skills sitting right now as a starting point, so that we can then track how they're progressing through and where they're building their skills as they go. So this is nice and easy if we have scouts transitioning across to Venturers, because where they finish up their time in the scout section is exactly where they start as a Venturer. Now, if you're like me and you start as a brand new member of scouting in the Ventura section, we need to have some time with those individuals where we assess and we chat to them in the unit about where their skills sit across all of those outdoor adventure skill areas. This should be done in consultation with the individual. There's quite a few different ways that we can look at doing that, but also then having a chat with unit council and submitting where that individual is up to. Once we have that starting point, everything goes into Scouts Terrain, the online recording tool, where things will then be recorded as they progress, including logbooks and, updating and uploading documents to support their journey and what they've done. So one of the great things about the OAS is that we incorporate and recognise skills that individuals gain outside of scouting. So, all of those camping trips and ski trips and whatever else that you do with your family, they actually have a place in scouting, and we can recognise those skills as part of your journey. Another advantage is that The skills, once you get past stage 5, across the outdoor adventure skill activity areas, generally speaking, those stages are designed so that you can then use that information and your the skills and the planning and the doing and reviewing that you do throughout the system, that you can then use those as a great portfolio of evidence towards the outdoor leadership certificates and qualifications.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to some questions. The first question we've got is, what are the OAS requirements to achieve the Queen Scout?
To achieve the Queen Scout Award, a Venturer must complete at a minimum stage 5 in the 3 core outdoor adventure skills and complete 12 progressions in their time as a Venturer, 4 of which must be at stage 4 or higher. Progressions in the 3 core areas are included in the 12 total progressions.
All right. How do you get something signed off if you don't have a leader / other youth member with high enough qualifications to sign it off?
That's a great question, Charlie. So with time, as we progress and as we get everyone super involved in the outdoor adventure skills, we see that local support networks will grow within districts and regions. But in the meantime, having scouts and adventurers and leaders who are interested in particular activities, they will progress and find their journey and their pathway, and they'll help other people out as they gain their skills. But in the meantime, what we can do is, if you're having any trouble or you'd like to know some specifics, you can always contact one of the adventurous activity teams. They're more than happy to help out. And we've also got some website tools that are there to help with who can sign you off for what.
Awesome. How do external providers sign off badge work?
The easiest way to get and record sign-off from external providers is to print the guidance statements from terrain for the relevant stage, and to have the provider verify by signing the relevant I statements on terrain. A photo of this can then be loaded as evidence into terrain.
Awesome. How does the OAS cater to people with different levels of physical capability?
Another great question. So with that, we understand and we know that individuals have different levels of ability, and that can't be a restriction. So we don't want it so that it's so hard that no one can achieve their Queen Scout Award or other peak awards. What I suggest is that reasonable adjustment can be applied for individuals, and it's about them doing their best. But there's no one-size-fits-all rule, so it's reasonable adjustment based on that particular individual. So working within the unit to discuss, and then probably leaning in on your district venture leaders and even some of the state commissioners if need be, just to get that guidance and make sure that it's enough of a challenge without being impossible to achieve.
Do we need an examiner for badges like paddling and climbing related ones, or is it a course for them?
So with the outdoor adventure skills, there are a couple of people who can verify your skills. Firstly, a venturer or a youth member who has completed at least 2 stages or higher using the 2-down system, or in a skill, or an appropriately qualified person. Each I statement is ticked off as you demonstrate the skills, and the details of the verifier is attached to the I statement. Once all I statements are completed, the stage goes off to the unit council for approval. Photos and other supporting documents can be uploaded to Scout's terrain. For example, someone who holds stage 5 bushwalking can verify skills in stages 1, 2, and 3 of bushwalking.
Can the initiative courses that we've done count towards the new system's outdoor skills?
That is a fantastic question, and it depends. So what I'd suggest is it depends on the activities that you completed as part of that initiative course. And what I'd suggest is that you go through the outdoor adventure skills, and there'll be I statements that I'm sure you can you can mark off as complete based on your initiative course, but maybe not an entire OAS stage. It really depends. If the initiative course had a really strong, say, pioneering theme, possibly, but something I'd like to do, and I don't want to sound cheesy, but look wide. I know that that's one of the slogans, but make sure that we're looking wide and know and understand that you can be working on multiple outdoor adventure skills in multiple stages concurrently. So you might only be getting a couple of I statements ticked off here and there within a particular stage, but it's still worth going in and signing that off as you do them. So you may not get an entire stage progression out of an initiative course, but the bits and pieces that you do on any activity and any course, you might be able to link them into those outdoor skill areas.
Awesome. And I believe this is our final question we'll be answering live tonight. How do we get above stage 5 for the core OAS badges? For example, are there camping specialists?
Yeah, so I don't have a one-size-fits-all answer for you. With the complexity and the variety of outdoor adventure skills that we are covering, and making sure that we're doing everything in a safe and, I guess, compliant manner across the country, we have a variety of different rules depending on which stage and which activity area you're working in. So in relation to who can sign off on these skills, as we move forward, super exciting thing is youth members or scouts will be able to sign off anyone who is 2 stages below them within the OAS, within the outdoor adventure skills. So as Bailey mentioned, if someone holds stage 5 bushwalking, doesn't matter how old they are, they can help others in stages 1, 2, and 3. Now, when we, in the meantime, while we're building up, I guess, those levels or those stages amongst our youth, what we can do is have some leaders who are out there. So camping, for example, pretty much any leader who is experienced and has a wood badge and has completed their advanced training can support and mentor you through the camping OAS, for example. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to send, they'll come up shortly, a webpage. So on the Scouts Victoria webpage, there is an outdoor adventure skills page in particular where we have a breakdown of, you know, I'm looking at campcraft or I'm looking at bushcraft pioneering. Who is it that can oversee me for this? And that's designed so that you know what and who you can oversee in the future, but also to help you with, hey, who can I go for that stage 6 badge? So in summary, there's not a one-size-fits-all answer, but there is absolutely information available. And I recommend you reach out, and if you do still have a query of, hey, who can I go to, feel free to shoot through a question or an email through to myself or my team, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Narelle and Bailey, for your time tonight. And if anyone has any more questions about the outdoor adventure skills, you can email Narelle at sc.oas@scoutsvictoria.com.au, as seen on screen now.
No worries.
And now we'll pass it on to Sophie.
Awesome. Now we're going to have a regular segment of our live stream where our State Ventura Youth Commissioner, Zoe Herrera, answers your questions about venturing. We're going to call it Ask Zoe. So Zoe, welcome.
Nice to be here. Yeah, so what questions do you have to throw at me today?
So our first question is, will VG be earlier this year because of AG's cancellation?
So unfortunately, I don't believe that's the case. So VG is an entirely separate committee, so they work separately from AG, and the VG is meant to be a camp after exams. So I doubt it will be earlier because it's designed to be that sort of camp at the end of the year. So
cool, awesome. Our next question is, what can you do if you're a 17-year-old in lockdown and you need to go on your hike in order to get your Queen Scout?
If you're in lockdown, if you have coronavirus, then I'm very sorry about that. Get well soon. But yeah, at the moment, Victoria isn't in lockdown. We did have a brief 5-day thing earlier, but there's plenty of time this year to go do your hike. And if you're 17 turning 18 and you're in year 12, you can keep in Venturas or stay in Venturas until the end of the calendar year. So there's plenty of opportunity. And I'm sure if there's a brief lockdown again, your unit council can help you and work something out with you to plan another hike or some provisions. So
Awesome. The next one that we got was, how do you balance school life and venturing?
So yeah, this one's different for everyone. I understand that school is super, super important for a lot of people, and it should be, but also you need to realize that fun and ventures and other aspects of your life are really important as well, and it's important not to burn yourself out. So I always believe that putting ventures as a priority is the key, because you will make time for things that are high priority in your life. Of course, it should never overtake school, but just try to keep organized, like keep a calendar or task list, and make sure like you plan around school or plan around Ventures, your choice. A bit of both is good. On the Ventures website, we do have like a calendar with all the events throughout the year. So you can always have a look at that and see which ones you want to go to and then work around that. Yeah.
Awesome. That's really good advice. Next one we have is, so I can't sign off my badge work because my unit council doesn't meet regularly. What can I do?
Ooh, so first point is that if your unit council is not meeting regularly, it's really should be. So I would definitely talk to your leaders or talk to your district leaders, Venture leaders, or even your region commissioner if you need help with getting that rolling, because every unit should be meeting regularly, whether that be once a month or once every a month and a half. Yeah, it should be meeting really regularly to get that sort of stuff, because you guys run yourselves, and you need to get badge work through and discuss issues that come up as they come up. And of course, I'd also encourage you to go to a unit management course, because if the problem is that you don't know how to run a unit council, well then like that's explained and covered in everything. Like everything there is covered in the unit management course. So yeah.
Cool. In a similar vein, how do you run a unit council, would you say?
Well, yeah, I guess, yeah, that does tag onto the previous question, that go to a unit management course, and it's all explained there. You'll actually go through a mock unit council meeting. But as a general rule of thumb, you have your different roles. You have a chair, you have a secretary, maybe an assistant chair, and you run the meeting going through all the various businesses. There is a format to it. Again, that will be in the course for you, but it's pretty easy once you get through that. There's also a bunch of stuff on the website as well, and actually that reminds me that the Ventura Council is releasing some resources, a lot better looking ones, even if you're not happy with the current resources, very soon, so keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, I believe those are meant to be out within the next month, so definitely keep an eye out for those ones. Our next question is, my unit doesn't do enough abseiling. How do we do more of that?
Well, the first thing I think of is to contact like all your other Ventura friends or leaders, because they probably know someone or do it themselves. But obviously you can also contact the abseiling team. They can probably help you. If you don't know how to run an abseiling trip, they could probably help you and get you started. And of course, there's the Outdoor Adventure Skills team as well that could also probably point you in the right direction for that. Yeah.
Awesome. Our next question is, I'm halfway through my VA on the old system. Should I go to the new system?
So this is a question that really depends on your situation. I'd say if you're 17, maybe 16 and a half, and you're almost finished your Queen Scout, and you could probably get it done in the next like year or so, I would probably stick on the old system. It would just be a lot simpler. But if you're that case and you're in a unit that is on the new system, maybe it will be easier to transfer into the new system because the rest of your unit is already doing that. But if you are 15 or you haven't started yet, I'd definitely start on the new system, or at least transfer all your badge work into the new system, because as of next year, it's going to get really involved and really easy to do it, at least easier than it is now, which is already, it's not too bad to transfer over all your things. There's a linking process that is on the website. All the information's on the website, or leaders and state teams. Any questions when it comes to that, you can feel free to like hit all the support emails and whatnot. But yeah, definitely if you're a younger venturer, I would definitely start on the new system. If you think you can get it done in the next year, then staying on the old system might be easier for you.
Awesome. I'm sure that applies to quite a few people. The next question is, my unit doesn't have many people in it. How do we get more people?
Okay, this is a difficult question, and it's, I guess, the age-old question of every unit almost. But like one thing with Scouts is that a lot of people don't know about Scouts or Venturers and what they do. So firstly, I think it would be great to just expose yourselves in the community, like take part in community events, or move your activities towards more public spaces, or keep active on social media if you're social media snazzy. But the more people know about it, the more people can ask about it and find out more. Obviously, you can also ask your friends to come with you. That's probably really convincing for them, because you can tell them and show them what you've been doing all this time. I know my friends in high school were all like, oh, you do such cool stuff. Like, I guess Scouts isn't really what I thought it was. But yeah, there's also, you know, going to Bunnings barbecues and having an Australia Day stall. But yeah, it's all this little stuff that builds up, and more exposure means more free advertising, I guess.
Yeah. Awesome. The last question, and it's a great question at that. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
There's only one answer to this question, and it is absolutely yes. I'm sorry, no pineapple on pizza people, but on the council at least, everyone's a yes person, I think. So there you have it. Ventures Victoria thinks pineapple should be on pizza.
I'm glad we cleared that one up. That was really important. Awesome. Thanks, Zoe, for coming on and answering a few questions. I'm sure we'll see you a bit later in the live stream. Yep. Thank you. If anyone watching has any questions, we've been posting things out on Instagram stories where we're collecting questions. So keep an eye out for them for our next live stream, so we can answer your questions then. Yeah, before our big announcement, we'll just have a few reminders. Pardon me. Our first major announcement is the applications for the State Leader Venturer role are now open. I'm going to pass over to Zoe to explain that a little bit more.
So yeah, our previous State Leader Venturer, you may have met her or seen her around. Ali Harris has been doing a great job the past year or so, and her term is coming to a close. So basically, the State Leader Venturers would be working with me, would be working with Duncan, as well as the rest of the council to obviously, run council initiatives and represent Venturers Victoria in many different circumstances, whether that be statewide or with other states as well. But the State Leader Venturers is really somewhat like a venturer that is under 18 and can be like that youth voice in a lot of different situations where there might not have been a youth voice in the past. So you'll be taking part in council meetings, which I know sounds boring, but I promise they're more fun than they sound. The council is a very welcoming group that likes to have some fun sometimes. But yeah, there's plenty of opportunity to learn and grow your leadership skills and chuck yourself in the deep end in a good way, mind you. And yeah, so there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff when it comes to learning to distribute a lot of news that comes from state and national downwards. And I guess that's part of the role with that. Yeah, sorry. Trying to do this almost top of my head, but it's a great opportunity for you. You'll meet lots of new people. You'll learn a lot of new things. You'll learn a bit more about how Ventura runs in the background, and it obviously also progresses you to other leadership opportunities in the future. If you want to continue with adult roles in a similar vein, it's kind of like a practice run for that with lots of support from other people on the council and like your region commissioners and Duncan. And it's not too intimidating because you got that support with you. I see that someone's asked, or Ben's asking about the commitments of the role. So the reason we have a state leader is because we wanted a youth commissioner, so someone like Duncan, but on the youth side. And so that is split between two people. That's why I'm here. And then there's also the state leader. So it's definitely time suitable because you got all that support from all these different people that are sharing the load a bit. And yeah, I definitely recommend it.
Awesome. Make sure if you're interested, hand in your applications to the thing that was just on screen. I'm sure it will be in the next Be Informed. Awesome. Thanks, Zoe, for that explanation. So our next reminder is that applications for Hodley Hyde are open. This is going to be a great opportunity to catch up with all your Ventura mates from across Victoria. You can sign up at the link on the screen. Awesome. Our next one is we've heard about the outdoor adventure skills tonight. And for more information on that, if you just want to learn more or if you want to remind yourself of things, you can visit the OWL program section of the Ventures Victoria website, as seen on screen as well. And lastly, for the latest Ventura information, don't forget to follow the Ventures Victoria Facebook and Instagram page, just for all the updates of everything. And now we'll have the exciting reveal of the new initiative. Over to Charlie.
Thank you, Sophie. The VVC is excited to announce a new unit buddy system. This is something our Build Project Patrol has been working on for the last couple of months to help improve venturing for units all over Victoria. The unit buddy system is designed to help units connect with other units from both near and far to share ideas, activities, and interests. Units that sign up will be grouped with 1 to 2 other units. Where possible, units that share a common interest will be grouped together to assist venturers in meeting like-minded units. For example, if there are 3 units that are really into abseiling, they could be put in contact with each other. The more information your unit provides, the more individualized your unit's groupings will be. Some of the benefits of the unit buddy system include meeting other units, gaining access to other units' facilities and experience, increasing connections between regional and metro units, and encouraging units to look wide. Make sure to fill out the unit buddy system sign-up form as a unit, as this will give a more accurate representation of your unit and keep everybody included. Registrations for the unit buddy system will open tomorrow at 5 p.m. If you have any questions about this initiative, we'll put out an Instagram story tonight and answer them there. And with that, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. We hope you got something out of it. Keep an eye out for the unit buddy system registration, and make sure you submit your applications for the state. Make sure you submit your applications for the state Ventura role.
Thanks very much, guys.